and good morning, my fellow trucketeers. Today is a Saturday and we got a slightly different video for you. We're doing a POV today, so if POV videos make you feel a bit queasy, then I suggest you turn this one off now. But we are going to be driving back to the yard. It's about 46 minutes from here. It'll probably be less than that because it's a little bit less time. And like I said, it's a Saturday today. Today's Saturday the 15th, I think, of July. So we had a bit of a rubbish week of being held up everywhere. So we got held up on Tuesday, which delayed me getting to the customer on Wednesday, and then got held up by that customer, which meant I couldn't get to me collection. So I had to do another job which had 3 drops, and then that got delayed. Well, each one of them drops was delayed because there was already a truck in each one of them. So I had to do a collection of blocks, which means I couldn't get as far as I wanted to, and then that drop of blocks took nearly 3 hours to get off because there was a truck already loading, another truck waiting, and when that first truck that was loading went away, they let a rigid in to unload before us, and yeah, and then their own truck. And it was just that, and then when I collected the stuff I delivered this morning, I could have got there last night if it didn't take me nearly 3 hours to get loaded there as well. So it's been a chain reaction. I lost half a day on Tuesday, and that's pretty much gone throughout the whole week, so I ended up having to deliver it today. My boss did say bring it back to the yard, but I said no, as I'm working, you know, as I only got as far as Andover last night, so I didn't even get anywhere near it. So I went and done that drop this morning and got that off. So I said to my boss, I might as well do it as I'm already working today, make it worthwhile, you know. Anyway, so we are going to be driving back to the yard. We are on the A358 heading... Oh, slow it down a bit, rolling on down the hill. So we are driving on down through the 358 towards the Shard, through Axminster, and then back to the yard. So it's going to be a POV. It's going to be a see it and say it video. So as I'm driving, I'm going to commentate on what I'm looking at, so you get an idea of what's going on. And also, it's a very sunny but wet day today, and I've got to do work on the cars today, which is going to be fun because both our cars are knackered at the moment, and we need at least one to work properly. Right, so this is going to be, like I said, about a 40-ish minute video, maybe a bit less than that. So we're just climbing into a 40 limit now, so we'll start accelerating, and then there's a natural speed limit ahead of us, so obviously we'll start accelerating a bit more. It's quite windy today as well, so we got that to contend with. We'll do what we can. We do have an empty curtain cider on, so it's not the best for this. So as it is quite windy, we're not going to get right up to full speed. We'll probably sit at about 45-ish. We're going to get a bit more cover in the trees, it won't be too bad. Now obviously we've got more paint on the road here, so we've got to watch out because there's a turning coming up. So more paint means more danger. Obviously if you don't know, these hatch markings you can cross because it's got broken white lines. If they're solid white lines you can't cross them. All them slashes do is they point in the direction of travel, so they point in that direction, so you know which side of the road to drive on. Not a lot of people know that. I got this new, it's like a baseball cap that has a mount on it for the camera, so that's what I'm using right now. I've not used it before, and it's quite front heavy, so I'll probably have a stiff neck by the time I'm done. Alright, we've got a couple of junctions there, just going to keep an eye on them, make sure nothing's going to come out of there. I'm already looking up at this lay-by, make sure no one's going to try and pop out of there. Watching these vehicles. Got a sign coming up saying we got some squiggly roads coming up. One thing I've noticed as well, a lot of people don't read signs very well anymore. It's like signs saying when their junction's turning up, it's like, nah, we'll wait until the very last second to get across, or yeah. Read your signs, people. They're there to help you. Cool, that is really blowy. Is that blowy? It's undone one of the clips on my curtain, but we will persevere. This road's a little bit narrow, so I'm going to turn the white line detection thingy off because it'll go off every 5 minutes otherwise. Alright, coming up to a 40 limit, so we'll bring her back. We are empty, so it's not going to be too extreme. If it's heavier, then I'd obviously start slowing down earlier, use the engine brake a lot more. Right, we've got to turn on the corner here, so got to watch out for anyone that might be emerging from that. Obviously more paint on the floor saying slow for that reason. Another sign there saying there's a turning coming from the left. Also there's some cherries there. Another sign there warning of turning on the right. So obviously it could be vehicles coming from the right. The more signs and the more paint on the road you get, the more dangerous that bit of road is essentially. The more accidents there's been there, so they've put in other measures to make whatever more visible. So yeah, we've got a speed camera on our right here, so we'll make sure we're doing less than 40, which we are, we're doing 30 at the moment. There's a speed camera hidden by the bushes, so it's completely useless anyway. So you got there as fast as you want, because the camera's not going to get you, because it's covered by the hedge. Funny. I've got a 30 limit there, so we'll just put the engine brake on, just bring it down a touch. Alright, we're coming into Chard now, so obviously it's a bit more of a built-up area, so you can tell that from the street lamps. The street lamps are a lot closer together. So obviously another indication of that it's a 30-mile-an-hour road is how close the street lamps are together, and obviously the path right next to the road. And parked cars here, so we've got to watch out for vehicles that are wanting to go around them and think, oh yeah, we'll just nip in because this truck can wait. This truck doesn't need to slow down, he can stop instantly. Zebra crossing coming up, watch out for the turn-ins, make sure no one's going to come out of them. Obviously you've got to watch out in these housing estates, because some people like to think, just nip out quick and straight out the turn, straight out the roads that they live in. Thing is about living coming through places like this is the people that drive around here are generally local, and when you're always driving around your local area, people tend to become complacent, so they don't pay as much attention as they would if they were somewhere they don't know, theoretically. So we're at traffic lights, which are pedestrian crossing, so we're going to keep an eye out, make sure there's no one planning on a cross at the last minute and run across as the lights change. Also got a DIY store there, so there'll be people coming out of there wanting to head into there. Another truck over there, but he's wanting to go straight on. Car's turning in, so we'll back off sooner. Because that car might try and come out, but they're not going to. That's alright. Right, we've got to come around these cars that are parked here. There is enough room for me and the cars to fit, but it's whether they pay attention and move over enough for me to get through them. So keep an eye on that. Again, parked cars on the left, so we got to essentially command the road, just go over the white line slightly. There is enough room for me and other vehicles to pass here. Someone's had their mirror knocked by the looks of it. Guy with a dog, and make sure the dog's under control, not going to run out. Sorry, lady, my bad. Again, cars on the left, so we got to essentially just go over the white line slightly. You don't need to slow down, just move over slightly, you'll be fine. Right, now we've got some traffic lights ahead and they keep clear. There should be enough room in front for me to fit before they keep clear. Yeah, we're past it, and then we'll pull up nicely behind these. Now with this junction, it's quite narrow on the other side for other vehicles, so it's best for us to keep over the left as much as we can, but we'll make it through these lights, hopefully. Yep, still green, we'll be alright. Alright, we've got to watch that curb there. I'll come out a bit wide. Keep an eye on the mirror. There we go. That sign there donates as a school or crossing here, so we've got to be careful. But obviously it's a Saturday, so we don't have to worry about kids quite as much running out on the road. And even if it was a weekday, if it was at this time, that guy's not indicating, so we'll just plan for him wanting to come straight across the roundabout. Yeah, even if it was a school day, it's only, what, 11:20, so there wouldn't be that many kids running around. Right, we've got to nick a bit of this other side of the road here because this corner's quite tight, so just got to watch for other vehicles and make our way around. High grip tarmac there as well, so that tells me it's a heavy braking zone for like a crossing or something, or an area with a blind corner or something, or a road immersion. Sometimes they put high grip tarmac down, so they got it here where there's a crossing. They put high tarmac down sometimes in places that have a high risk of accidents as well. Right, this corner's fun, so we got to come right out onto the other side of the road. So we got our nose up here. Got to watch people that try and sneak out in front of us on the right, but obviously I need to go right out on the other side of the road, so I need to make sure there's no one coming. Then we got to go dead forwards, turn in at the very last minute to miss that curb there, and watch out for vehicles coming around, not understanding what I need to do. And now he's going to be in the way of my trailer. No, we're alright. Now obviously all the way around this, my trailer's going to be over the white line, so just got to watch the cars as we go up. Sign coming up saying oncoming vehicles in the middle of the road. That's because this corner's a little bit tight and we do need to pinch the other side of the road ever so slightly to get around it. Only a little bit though. Don't know why this guy stopped. He could have carried on. Turn the wipers off for 5 seconds until it starts raining again in a second. We're having a great July, aren't we? It's very, very wet July. I think it's probably the coldest and wettest July we've had in a long time. Right, we're still in a 30 here, so we'll stick to 25 to 30 mile an hour. It's not quite as windy here because of all the houses and that, so it's not too bad. Got a sign here saying site entrance, so, or site access even, so there could be large vehicles trying to exit or enter there. On a Saturday I highly doubt it, but you never know. There's a car there on the right, so we're going to watch him, see what he's up to. I think he's just reversing on the drive, which is fine. Caution, pedestrian crossing ahead. Yep. So again, watch out for people there. Getting into a 40 zone now, so we'll start accelerating a bit. Watch out for the caravan. Sometimes they don't realise how much wider than the car they are, and they do like to creep over the road slightly. Obviously we've got double white lines here, so it's no passing if you can help it. You are allowed to go over the double white lines if what you're crossing, what you're overtaking is doing less than 10 mile an hour. Look at all the trees blowing. Very windy. Alright, got a national speed limit here, so we can get up to 50 mile an hour. We probably won't do 50 mile an hour along here because of the wind. Alright, going downhill, so put a bit of engine brake on. That is blowy. That's really picked up. It wasn't that bad earlier. It was absolutely fine on the farm I delivered to. Oh, someone's at the front door. I should have muted that really. Never mind. Come up here, we've got slow down, it's a 40 limit, we've got paint on the road, also turning on the left. 7.5 ton on the left. Bigger vehicles can go straight on. This is Tesla. Tesla was thinking about trying it. Again, slow signs on the road. Donates. It's a few accidents have happened here, so watch out for people emerging. Some sharpish corners there, not too bad, so we'll bring the speed down gradually. Just make our way around a little bit. Hear any clattering? That's some couple of cans of drink I've got in my fridge, and there's nothing else in there, so they're just rolling around. Obviously got broken white lines on our side of the road so we can overtake, and up ahead we got broken white lines on both sides, so watch out for people that try and overtake at the last minute coming the other direction. Get our speed up a little bit. It's more open here, so we're going to get hit by more wind, so be careful of that. It's an old Rover. Very old one. I'm only doing 40 at the moment because I'm being blown around quite a bit. Hope my battery lasts until I get back to the yard as well, so there is that to be concerned of. So the video does just stop, and obviously you know the battery's run out. Got a road on the left here which says trucks go to that industrial estate, so we've got to watch out for trucks coming in and going from there. When we come around the corner, there might be one that's halfway out the junction before we got anywhere near him, so we warned of that. Welcome to Devon. Bit more rain. Road's a little bit wide now, but we're coming into a 30, so we'll use the engine brake, bring it back a bit, a little bit of foot brake. Police speed check area, so that tells me that people have sped through here quite a few times, so be careful of that. The diversion sign doesn't count at the moment. There's night closures on the road near our yard, so that diversion's only active during 8 PM and 6 AM. Alright, so obviously a 30 mile an hour limit, you've got more vehicles coming and going from places, so just a case of keeping your eye on them. Got 2 turns coming up, one on the left, one on the right. People could be coming out of them. It's not too bad, they've got plenty of room to see, yeah. But yeah, they still try it. Alright, into a natural speed limit, so we'll start getting our foot down. And then we got a sign there saying we got a downhill gradient at 10%, so yeah, don't go too crazy down there in a heavy truck. Light's not too bad, but we'll put the engine brake on and let that hold us back down the hill. Turn it off a bit, we'll let the slope of the hill speed us up a bit. There we go, there's the 10% gradient now. Engine brake full on. Squiggly roads coming up ahead. Reduce speed now. Right for a minute. Oh, bus coming, so he's quite wide, so we'll slow down a little bit. Slower you go, the wider the road gets. The more room it gives you, essentially. It's easier to get past each other when you go a bit slower. I'll start accelerating up this hill. There's a little model railway shop here called Buffers. There's been accidents out here before, there was one the other week, so just got to watch out for people leaving there and not paying attention, because everyone drives in, then that means they got to reverse out onto the main road to leave there, which doesn't make sense to me. Surely you'd want to reversing, because then you're driving out onto the main road. Now 7.5 ton to come in, so he's quite wide, but this road's massive, so it'll be alright. Turning coming up on the left. After a blindish corner, yeah, we're okay. And a sign for a school, so again, during school time, watch out for children just running across the road. Especially if there's a bus in a bus stop, you don't know if one's going to run out from in front or behind the bus without looking. I'm bound to miss things on this, so don't pick me up on everything I see and say. I drive this route all the time, so again, when I said about roads you drive all the time and complacency, yeah, we all do it. Sign, the road liable to flood, and we've had quite a bit of rain, so it could be true at the moment. Got a squiggly road up ahead, and I know for a fact we got a little bridge that goes over the water down there. It's a little bit tight, and we do have to, our trailer does have to go on the other side of the road to get around it, so just got to watch out for other cars coming the other way. So we'll bring the speed right down. Railway bridge even, sorry. So we'll go around, you can see our trailer goes over the white line slightly. I don't know how much you're going to see in the mirrors because I don't turn my head that far to look in the mirrors. But the camera doesn't move like my eyeballs do, so yeah. Right, got traffic lights up ahead, so we'll bring the speed right down. Keep clear there as well to be mindful of, but we're going to be way ahead of that. There's vehicles coming over this bridge. Coming this way is not too bad with wide vehicles. If you stopped on the other side, then it's a little bit narrower, so you do have to make sure you go over the left so any wide vehicles coming towards you. Green light. Well, amber, then green. There is a turning on the left here, but I think that is traffic lighted, so anyone coming out of that little housing bit there, they actually have a traffic light to let them in and out. Alright, we do have to squeeze around these cars a little bit, especially over this little bridge bit. Can be a bit tight, we do have to go right on the white lines to get past anyone. So accelerate up this hill, then we're into a 30, so being light we should be up to speed. Yeah, we're up to speed now. Obviously built up area, got to watch for cars emerging from all the turn-ins. And obviously watch for people walking down the road that are not just going to run across the road like lunatics. Being a Saturday, it is a damn sight quieter than it normally is along here. Zebra crossing, obviously got to watch for people wanting to cross, and a bus stop, but there's no buses there anyway, so alright. Kiddie with a dog, make sure nothing's going to run out in front of me. In your test they make sure you look in your mirrors as you pass kids as well, so they don't like fall over and fall underneath your trailer as you're going past them or anything like that. It's something they actually check for on your test when you're passing people walking on the road. Right, I can get on the other side of the road here and pass them. Once I get to this point here, then we can pass each other. Thank you. Right, we've got to turn left here now. High grip tarmac, which denotes as a hard braking area. Now we've got to get over to the right, come out forwards, and then right over to the left. Make sure we miss the island there, then miss the turn in there, and then accelerate up the hill here. Now up here is a school, it's a 20-mile-an-hour zone. Obviously not a school day, so not a problem, but on a school day at 3 o'clock, school breaking up time, so you generally get cars parked everywhere along here. So it can be a bit of a pain. Obviously they can't park in this bit. Car coming the other way, technically it's their right away. There you go, stop, let me go, or they're stop and let me go there, that's good. So we will go. This is also a pedestrian crossing, sort of, so watch out for people to want to cross because there's a little play park to the right there, people play football. Road umps, now we've got to get over to the left here so we can let all these cars through, so we can't fit through there with all them there. So I'll let these people go. So obviously we'll start coming down here now. We can't fit anyone past us until we get to the end. And then when we turn left, we do need to go on the other side of the road to actually make the corner out. So sometimes you'll have people turning in here, and then it'll just stop right in front of you. It's like, well, I can't go nowhere now. So we'll look both ways. Oh, there's one car wanting to turn in here. They'll get, sorry about the beeping, they'll get a little way past me and she won't be able to go any further than that, so she'll have to wait there until I go. This caravan can wait a minute. If that caravan carried on, that would have caused calamity then. Thank you. Zebra crossing, watch for people crossing. No one there though. Carrying up the road a little bit. Right, this is our right of way up the hill. Fun fact, highway code states that large vehicles coming uphill have priority over vehicles coming downhill, but no one ever knows that, so no one ever pays attention to that. I don't think anyone's ever actually read a highway code, have they? Right, now we've got to pass these cars on the left that are parked up, so we'll indicate out. So we've got to watch out because it's kind of a blind corner, so someone can come flying down here, a bit like that, and not be prepared for me. So, and they don't particularly like to slow down much for you, but it's not exactly anywhere I can go. Same case here, move out over. It's a little bit wider this one, so it's not too bad, but again, nowhere for me to move over in case anyone comes the other way. I'll slow down a bit in case anyone does come flying around. Right, back into a natural speed limit, so we'll get the hammer down. Make sure we pass that car. I've been meaning to do one of these videos for a little while, because this is essentially what kind of goes through in my head when I'm driving. What I'm kind of looking out for, to an extent. And in a way, if you're going for your test and that, it does kind of help to read in your head what you're looking at. Or some people even recite it out as they're doing it. And it can help you to keep your observation up as you're driving. So that is something you can do. It is a little tip you can do. Some examiners will tell, not examiners, some trainers will actually tell you to sort of read out what you're looking at and everything, to try and help you with your observation and what you're actually looking at, and it just helps to sort of slow you down to then give yourself time to look at everything, make sure everything's going around and what's going around, and yeah, it can kind of get your mind into the mindset of keep an eye out on things that we need. Right, we need to turn left here, so we got a fast road we're coming onto, but we're turning left and the road heading that way is 2 lanes, so cars coming up the hill can move over and let us out, because we don't need to get right over to get past them. So keep an eye, make sure no one's coming up the hill, which they're not, and then we'll come out and put down full acceleration. There are cars coming up the hill, but they should be able to move over and get past me, maybe. We're coming on to the merge lane now, so we'll see if this one's going to try it. And the next one, yeah, Fiesta's going to try it. They're going to go right over the hatch markings now. I mean, they're allowed to, but it does kick up a load of stuff. Alright, broken down vehicle obviously, so we've got to move over, but there is enough room for us in the cars. Not really a great place to break down. You really shouldn't be sat in your vehicle if you do that. You should get out, because if someone smashes into the back of you, it's going to be a hospital visit. Alright, we've got a crossroads here. Obviously it slows down to 40 here, so we've got to watch out for vehicles like trying to get out, because it can be a bugger to get out of these turn-ins sometimes, and people do put their foot down to try and get out in front of you sometimes. I've got a pub here with a crossing, so obviously watch out for pedestrians. Some kiddie there carrying a ball, so got to make sure he keeps hold of that and doesn't drop it, and it rolls under the truck and he goes to run after it. They're all good. So again, we'll get accelerating. Accelerating. Come on, John. Pronounce things properly. Alright, still in a 40, so that'll do us for now. I'll stick at 40. We'll come over the brow of the hill, and then it becomes a national speed limit, so we'll get up to... It's not quite as windy here, so we'll probably get up to 45, 50. T-junction coming up. I say T-junction, crossroads coming up, so make sure no one's coming out of them. And there's a natural speed limit. Lay-bys on the left, so make sure no one's trying to emerge from them. Again, turning on the left. And a caravan sight, so that says that caravans could be pulling out of here as well. So there is that risk, obviously, of much longer and not as well trained drivers pulling out of that right in front of you. Because a lot of people have been able to drive caravans for years, never had any training on pulling trailers, so they're not... most people are probably fine, but sometimes I think people forget they have a caravan on the back. So I've certainly had people sort of nearly hit my mirror because they've turned in too soon, forgetting they got a caravan on the back. Turning on the right, left here, obviously we're in a national speed limit, so slow vehicles pulling out onto a fast road. Dual carriageway here, so we'll get the speed right up. Car trying to overtake as well, and the road's shutting off in a minute, so we better hurry up. There we go. I say shutting off, merging back into one lane. Can't hear drink. I've got a very dry mouth from talking so much. Alright, get the engine brake on because we're starting to go down a bit of a steep hill. Put it on one click for now. Take it off for a minute. Let the hill maintain our speed. And I'm starting to go downhill. It is quite a steep hill. Got a blue sign there which is for an escape lane. So if we do overheat our brakes, then we can dive in that, but it shouldn't be an issue because we're light. So we'll stick the old engine brake on. We've got a sign there saying there's a roundabout ahead. This one does come up a bit quick on you, because you're going downhill and that, you can come up a bit quick on it without realising it. You can see it miles ahead, but we're going down a reasonably steepish hill. The escape lane there. So we'll get on the brakes harder now. Now we've got to pretty much take both lanes up here for our trailer to get around the curb. Watch out for cars coming that way. Alright, he's going straight on. He's going straight on. Now we'll trace the roundabout here. Get around it. Now if I didn't have to slow down for vehicles on my right as much, then I might have straight line that roundabout a little bit more, so it all depends. Alright, we'll get our speed up down this hill. We're at 45, so we'll back off the throttle a bit, let the hill carry us down. We're up to 50 now, so I'll put the engine brake on to hold us where we are. Obviously on this bit of road there's 2 lanes uphill, 1 lane downhill, but you can overtake coming downhill. So sometimes you've got to be mindful of people overtaking you and then someone coming up wanting to overtake another car, and then the car trying to overtake you wanting to turn in at the last minute. I had that happen a few times. Got a bridge above, so there's always a worry of someone throwing something off the bridge at you. I've not had it happen yet, but it does happen. I don't know how this video is going to come out. It might even be scrapped yet. It depends how the view is. Turn-ins on the right. People emerging from the right. So you've got to be mindful of that. Because sometimes they'll go across that lane and then they'll just fly straight out in front of you here. Again, caravan parks up there, so it could be a caravan pulling out of there. So a longer, slower vehicle technically. Again, back in this single carriageway now. Right now. If it's a single lane and you've still got a bit of grass or something between you, then it's still dual carriageway. A dual carriageway or motorway is not donated by how many lanes it has. You've got to watch out coming up here for larger vehicles, because the trees do sort of, when you get up higher, the trees do sort of come across the road at the top, so us trucks are trying to not knock our mirrors in on the trees, so obviously another truck coming the other way, he's going to be not wanting to knock his mirror in. So we've got to be mindful of trucks coming the other way that they are going to be straddling the white line a bit. Again, on this corner you see that tree sticking right, well, the bushes are coming right out. So if a truck comes round, he's going to be on my side of the road slightly, so got to be mindful of that. And the same here. I got to move over because of these trees. Carry on. Black and white chevron signs, so it says it's a tightish corner. We've got a crossroad coming up as well, so vehicles emerging from either of them into a 40 limit. A little bit of red paint on the road says, you know, careful, dangerous area. Traffic lights, and then chevrons in the middle of the road says high traffic area, be careful. Lovely views out here to the sea. You can see in the truck, but you can't quite see in the car. Big old puddle near the bus stop there. So there's no one stood there, so it doesn't matter if we do go through it. If there was anyone stood there, I'd have to move over a bit so I don't splash them. Turning on the left, no one coming out of there. And we're almost back at the yard. Only 3 minutes away. We've got roadworks here, so we've got mindful of the signs here. Wide loads over 10'6", you've got to pull in this lay-by and give them a call. But we're not that wide. What are we standard? 8'4"? Yeah. So we're okay. Right, we've got a big old steep hill now, 15% gradient, or grade, or steepness level thing. Just try your brakes. Loads of signs here. So there's a turn-ins on your right and turn-ins on your left, and then we got an escape lane as well. Obviously roadworks going on at the moment as well, so there's also that. We're down to single lanes. It's usually 2 lanes up the hill and 1 lane down, because it's a very, very steep hill for trucks, this one. It's many a times I've been following a truck and I can literally smell their brakes, but they've been on the foot brake the whole time rather than using their engine brake. Building work going on there. Max speed 30, that's fine. There's also a speed camera down there to be mindful of. Sometimes you get people heavy braking in front of you because they see the speed camera and think, oh no, what's the speed limit? Escape lane on the left there, so obviously there's one to dive in. There's actually 2 escape lanes in this bit of road coming into Chiddock. I think years and years and years ago there was a truck that actually came down here, lost his brakes and went into a house. I think that was like in the 80s at some point, I was told. 90s, 80s, 90s, something like that. So we come down here, there's a second escape lane there. Heavy on the exhaust brake. Because we're light, we'll just knock it back a little bit. Watch out for this car that wants to turn around there. Speed cameras there, so potential for people to suddenly brake. Turn on the right and turn on the left. People emerging. There's also a pub there, so watch out for drunkards that might be walking out. Not at this time, I'd hope. So I come down here. Turning for a bridge. There's a bridge down there. There's a turning for a beach there, so a lot of people coming out there, holiday makers potentially, don't know the area. We've got a little narrow bridge here. I can fit past with cars on the other side of the road, but they have to move over slightly. I can't fit through with a van or a truck coming the other way. It's a bit too tight. Right, now we've got to get into our yard, which is on the right up here. So we'll start indicating now. Watch out for this guy walking up the road, because I want to get over to the left slightly to give myself more room, and we'll stop here because we're going to turn in here. Oh, this guy's letting us in. Thank you very much. So we'll turn in. Watch the old scaffolding on the building, so we'll stay over to the left a little bit more. There we go. And then into the yard. Alright, I'm going to go park up. we'll end this video. So all the other trucks, look, that's my old truck. All the others. And someone else is in the way of the AdBlue pump. Because I need AdBlue. Right, I'm going to do what I need to do. We'll end the video in a minute. Right, there we go. We are done for the day. So, parked up in the yard. So my truck's off to go get its knock sensor fixed. So hopefully that'll stop all the bonging on the dash, which obviously we don't want. So, yeah, hopefully that'll be good. All I've got to do now is pack all my rubbish in my car and go home. Yeah. So if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. If not, thumbs down. That's entirely up to you. Also, subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed. It doesn't cost nothing, so why not? Help support it and push me further up the YouTube ladder. Anyway, leave a comment. What do you think of this video? Did you like it? Would you want to see more of these or less of these? I know some of you don't like POVs, that's why I said at the start. If they make you feel funny, just don't watch it. Yeah. And share the video with someone you think might like it. So yeah, we'll leave this here. So take it easy, look after yourselves, drive safely. Thanks for trucking around with Jono, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh yeah, remember, these t-shirts, this design, I'm not selling after the end of August. So if you want to get one of this design, order them now. At the bottom of the video somewhere. If you have ad blocker, turn it off and then you'll see the thing at the bottom for the t-shirts. So yeah, also got the new design on there. If you don't want one, don't get one. See you in the next one. Goodbyes!